me in here. Then I'm going to stop that. I'm going to take him out onto the indoor. Anybody who wants to talk in a little more casual setting with Corey out on the indoor, we should have the table still set up out there. You can do that. Then I'll bring Coach Combs in here, and then we'll bring him out there. So we'll open it up the floor for 5 minutes with Corey front row right, Austin from Letterman row.
Corey, congrats on the promotion. What made you think that you were finally ready to take on a job like this?
I don't know if you're really, you first have to dive into it to, kind of get your feet wet and go. But I mean, obviously the trust that Coach Day's had in myself and things like that. So the fact that, there's a lot of people that believe in me, then that ultimately has kind of given me the confidence to kind of be ready to go.
All these last quarterbacks that have come through and touched on, the way you've helped them and your teaching style to help them get to New York and these Heisman finalists. What is it you think that has allowed you to grow in that role and help them? What is your coaching style?
Ultimately, just kind of starting off, I've tried to, be a sponge in the sense that, whatever Coach Day taught and whatever he kind of did, I tried to take that myself. But, with coaching, you can't be someone else. You have to be yourself. And so I feel like I've kind of taken the things that I've learned from Coach Day, Coach Wilson, things like that. I try to create on my own and just be myself.
Second row right, Tony from the Ozone.
You got 2 freshman quarterbacks in this class. Talking to both of them, they say they're obviously going to compete against each other. They get along. Jack said the first day the competition started on the first day. Like, have you noticed those 2 competing against each other, or right now is it just they're just?
I wouldn't even say it's competing against each other as much as they're competing against themselves. They have to. There is a huge transition between where they were. I mean, in all reality, these guys are still seniors in high school now. They still have a long way to go, but I mean, more importantly, they've continued to compete, and that's what it is. And we've kind of, you guys know more than anything, but we've kind of come across the mindset that we need everybody. So if we're going to do what we want to do in the future, we're going to need everybody in that room. So, but no, those guys have been nothing but great.
Front row right, Bill from the Dispatch.
I know it looked like for a while you were going to go to Colorado State. Can you kind of talk about that whole whirlwind and that process?
Yeah, no, it was a whirlwind for sure. I did have an opportunity. I did have some things lined up there. I was fortunate enough to give an opportunity, and then obviously things changed, and Coach Day gave me an opportunity here, and so it was a no-brainer.
You're taking over a role in Ryan Day. Obviously did very well. You got a Heisman finalist in your room and a bunch of young quarterbacks. How much pressure do you feel to show that you are optimistic that you can handle this?
Sure, pressure's always there. Like you want to succeed, you want to do well, so there is pressure. You obviously always put pressure on yourself, but I'm not coming in looking to change anything. I'm not coming in to, hey, I would do this better than that, or I would have done this way. I'm looking to come in and I'm going to enhance. That's what I'm going to try to see, what we've done in the past and how can I put my spin on it to make it better.
Second row left, Ari from The Athletic.
Corey, I know you guys, or you just got done speaking about CJ and Jack, but it's a very unique situation. Is it kind of interesting that in your first job, you're at a place like this, not only that, but you're dealing with a guy like Justin, and then you're also looking over a very important backup quarterback competition? Is this like the most complicated first year a quarterback coach could have?
We've had our, shares of, guys competing for spots. Even when I first got here, I saw the JT Barrett, Cardell Jones and that thing. And so, and then obviously Dwayne and Joe. And so I've seen a quarterback competition in itself, but, so, I think when you kind of come to that, like, more importantly, I'm just excited that those guys want to be here, if that makes sense. Like, you want guys that want to come to Ohio State. You want guys that want to be here, that want to compete, that, that aren't looking for handouts. And I think that's both those guys. They knew what they were getting themselves into, and they want to be here and they want to compete.
Having been here for a long time, seeing Cardale and JT and Joe and Dwayne, what could you learn from some of the most intense quarterback battles this game has even seen, and, how do you, take that in terms of how it's going to enhance your ability to do this job?
The one thing with that one is, sure, it was a quarterback battle, but I mean, you guys know, even still to today, they're best friends. So for it to sit there and be a malicious battle or things like that, is sure there's going to be a competition, but you know, they leaned on each other, and that's what we're trying to build in that room. We're trying to build a unit. We're trying to build a group to where everyone can lean on one another, and it's just kind of that atmosphere where, hey, you have my back, I have your back.
Front row left, Nathan from cleveland.com.
Coach Day talked about continuity being a big reason why he, not that you weren't qualified, but just the continuity was one of the reasons why he wanted to elevate you into this position. Specifically with Justin, how does the rapport that you have, how do you feel like that's something that you can use in your relationship with him to make him better this coming season?
Justin and I have a great relationship. We've always had kind of a great relationship. It's one of those things that, you know, Justin wants to get better and Justin wants to enhance, and so that's just kind of what my goal is just to enhance. I'm not going to look to change anything, and because we have a great relationship, I think that, you know, we can kind of hopefully just keep making it better and just keep pushing the envelope.
Are there specific areas that you are looking to enhance right now?
Not right now. We're still looking at it. We're still watching cut-ups, and we'll get into spring ball, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Right next door, Doug from cleveland.com.
Corey, what influence do you think it has had on your career, the fact that you are Urban Meyer's son-in-law?
I would say that there was an influence. Maybe not the influence that, you know, people will say or things like that, but I mean, being around Coach Meyer, you know, what he's done, the type of person he is, the type of coach he is, and I mean, he's had an influence on a lot of young coaches who's come through this profession. I feel like there's been a lot of young coaches at Ohio State who've gone on and gotten jobs, and I think if you'd go ask those guys, they'd say, sure, there's definitely been an impact from Coach Meyer on their profession.
When you call him Coach Meyer, when do you call him Coach Meyer, and when do you call him something else?
He's always coach.
He's
just coach. That's coach.
Is when you said there's been an influence, maybe not how some people think. What do you mean by that? Do you think there's any perception? I'll just ask it straight. Do you think there's any perception that having him as your father-in-law has allowed you to like get a job like this at such a young age?
I think more than anything, maybe it's given me the opportunity. Coach Day wouldn't have hired me if he didn't think that I was ready. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I mean, I think I'm ready. Coach Day thinks I'm ready. I have a lot of coaches here. Coach Wilson, the guys believe in me. I've had players kind of believe in me, and I think I'm ready to go.
What do you think how would you describe the biggest difference between the role that you had before when you were involved with these guys in different positions, and now you're in like in charge of the room? What's the biggest? I mean, everybody faces that in life when you get a promotion. What's the biggest difference, would you say?
I think that it'll be kind of the way the room is set and the way the meetings are run, or, you know, certain cut-ups or the organizational thing. I mean, I still think that, you know, I'll be able to put my little spin on it, but I mean, still the same things get covered. I mean, it's still the same offense. Like someone said, there'll still be the same continuity. It'll still be, you know, things that Coach Day has done in the past, but I'll just be able to put a spin on it.
And final questions for this room, far left, Matt from 610 WTVN.
When you got the job, I mean, there was, from J.T. Barrett to even Joe Burrow, I mean, there were guys that commented that, you know, were happy for you. I'm wondering how much you saw that, and how did that make you feel that the guys that you would work with kind of more behind the scenes, and Dwayne Haskins, you know, rejoiced in the fact that you were getting this position?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it made me feel great. I mean, it definitely gave me, you know, a little boost of confidence that those guys are some of the best. I mean, Joe Burrow just won the Heisman. Michael Thomas is, you know, arguably the best receiver in the NFL. Dwayne Haskins was the top 15 first-round draft pick. So, I mean, those are all guys who've been extremely successful. J.T. Barrett's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of Ohio State. So the fact that, you know, those guys believe in me, I mean, absolutely, that's definitely a big boost of confidence.
And when you got hired, Coach Day said that from the moment he got here, even like picking him up at the airport, you were his right-hand man. The relationship you had with Coach Day, what made it take off? Why did you hit it off and, you know, have you standing here today?
I think one thing that was, you know, different for me is, you know, working with Coach Day the last 3 years, and I mean, I guess you could say that, you know, I've interviewed for this job every day for the last 3 years. He's seen what I've done. He knows the way that I prepare. He knows the way that I do things, and so I guess just the way that I've kind of been around and the way that I've kind of done things is that's kind of been our relationship.
Great. Corey, thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Corey.